Well, if I was a better YouTuber, a more talented creator, and someone who attained more than 2,000 subs in like 6 years of relatively hard work, this is where I would have right here. Maybe right here. The tweets of people saying I was a dumb fanboy for thinking the Division 3 would ever happen. Right here, I would have, they can't even finish 2. How could they make 3? Or maybe right here, they don't have enough people. The Ubisoft's gonna shut down. Massive's the worst studio. And then today, a great day. The Division 3 has been announced. Now, let me be totally honest. Not too much pomp and circumstance. This is a little text, a little article. I don't know. I was hoping for a little bit more than that. But you know what they say: beggars cannot be choosers. So today, on September 21st, 2023, we have the what appears to be the official announcement from Ubisoft Massive that the Division 3 is happening. It will be led by Massive Entertainment, and Julian Garrity will maybe not necessarily be the creative director directly on it, as he has been for the last 2 games. But on here, it's talking about him being appointed the executive producer for the entire brand. So I assume he will essentially play that role for Division 3, but will also be overseeing Heartland, Resurgence, and any other things they decide to do, at least on the gaming side of the brand. I imagine that he will have some input on the media side too. So Rostin Thurber's Netflix movie that we've all been waiting a really, really long time for, and anything else they decide to do. I have to imagine that eventually, when this game comes along, the transmedia will, be quite a big deal, like it has been in the previous 2 games. So this is super exciting for me. If you pay attention to my Twitter still, you'll know that even just like 3 or 4 times in the last couple months, I've posted like a poll, like, do you think there will be a Division 3? Man, I really want Division 3 to be in Chicago. I remember when I watched, or I binged, The Bear, I believe on Netflix. It had a bunch of winter scenes in Chicago where I was like, man, this would just be such a perfect setting. So we don't know where this game's going to take place. Even just this tweet points out that they're literally just building a team for it right now. If I had to throw on my guessing cap, I would say that the current Division 2 team, who's been working on the extended content and is currently wrapping up or continuing to work on year 5 content, is probably the basis for this team. I imagine that after Star Wars Outlaws is released, a majority of that team will be filled by people working on Outlaws, because if you didn't know already, the Star Wars Outlaws team is primarily made up by people that worked on Division 2. I don't know what the status of like the Avatar team is going to be. My impression, at least at one point, is that Avatar is supposed to be kind of an ongoing project, and so I expect that team to stay on that game. Where Outlaws, as far as I know, is probably going to come out and be done. Maybe some DLC. I assume some general support, but I imagine most of the Star Wars Outlaws team will become the Division 3 team. If you just look at the names, people like Frederick Thailander and Julian Garrity, among many others, I imagine will be on this project. So yeah, I'm super hyped. This is really cool. I've already seen some people kind of getting pessimistic about stuff. This isn't the day for that, or at least not for me. It isn't. I can assure you, I'm not hearing that noise today. I'm being excited today. I've been waiting for this because, if I have to be honest, I've fallen off of Division 2 quite a bit. Every time there's something new to do, I jump in and do it. I'm excited when the new seasons come out and the new years have come out, but I think that game is kind of played out its course, probably beyond what was even initially intended, almost certainly. And I think that year 5 is probably the last bit of content for Division 2. There's even I think a hint in the timetable for year 5 where it looks like the final update is going to have some kind of seasonal feature that my guess is they're going to be able to continue running seasons for Division 2 indefinitely, and it's going to be able to mix those up in some capacity to keep that interesting. As for timelines and stuff, I mean, we have to be pretty honest here in that, if they're building a team, that likely means they aren't even in pre-production on Division 3 yet. Division 2 came along pretty quick. They put out Division 1 in 2016. Division 2 came out in 2019 with a decent amount of upgrades to the Snowdrop engine. A big thing to consider that I don't think many other people are going to talk about is the Snowdrop engine from even 2019, from Division 2 to now, is from what we've been indicated by Avatar, what we've heard about it so far, having DLSS and ray tracing and all these things. Snowdrop has even advanced significantly since 2019, and that's really exciting because where much of the Division 2's upgrades had to be done by that team, in some capacity, the version of Snowdrop that Division 3 is going to be on is probably mostly done at this point. I'm sure that they'll have various things they want to add and make more efficient and things like that. But one thing that could speed development up a bit is that the engine is probably already significantly upgraded because of the 2 games that are coming out probably within the next year on that engine, as well as knowing that like the Crew Motorfest that just came out is on Snowdrop, the new Splinter Cell game, as well as other various games. So that probably won't be as big of a factor this time, and maybe that means that they'll spend more time on just the game and doing whatever Division 3 is going to be. And I would realistically say we're probably looking at a 2026 at the absolute earliest. 27 or 28 wouldn't be surprising. An interesting thing about that is that Xbox recently had revealed that they're planning a new console in 2028. PlayStation 6 probably in a similar boat, so this very well could be like a cross-gen game, probably not a next-gen game. And beyond that, it's going to be a lot of speculation for now. They probably haven't even decided what they're going to do with location and stuff like that. I've been pretty vocal about I would love a Chicago Division game. I think that no matter where the next game is, it has to be in snow. If they return to New York City and did a legit one-to-one recreation of it, that would be pretty cool. But that might be kind of worn territory already. We'll have to see what they do. Probably my most controversial thing is that I wouldn't be angry if they dropped the looter shooter, or at least went a different direction with it, and maybe leaned more into the RPG side. We have to kind of wonder what the influence of Outlaws and their development of that game is going to be on the Division 3, where it looks like Outlaws is going to be a game that isn't a looter shooter. It's going to be an action adventure game where the choices you make matter, and maybe we'll see some of that influence in the next Division. My main reason for thinking that way is that it seems like much of the motivation from Ubisoft with the Division 1 and 2 was to try to compete with Destiny 1 and 2. And I think that genre, I think the looter shooter, and then almost the MMO-ish thing that Destiny's gone towards, is probably not the trend. It's we maybe don't need to go towards that. We are seeing games either lean towards like the extraction type games, which we're probably getting with Heartland, and we're seeing a lot of big studios leaning back to doing like single player story games. And so I think that the looter shooter, at least in some capacity, is in the blood and the DNA of the division. So I don't expect them to ever completely drop that. But man, it sure would be good to see a game that looks a lot more like that 2013 trailer that kind of felt like an RPG that happened to have looter shooter stuff, instead of a game that 100% is trying to go towards what kind of felt like the Destiny playbook, rather than, you know, allowing the awesome lore and storytelling and potential for the story in the division to really shine. My super most controversial thing is, if they completely drop PvP from the franchise, I'd be more than happy. I know there's a loud, vocal, I think, minority of players who are going to hate that. That's fine. I don't care. I got over that a long time ago. At the very least, I hope that they are able to either truly do PvP in a way that seems like it's worth it and not a waste of time for the rest of the franchise, or in the rest of the game and the vast majority of players who don't even participate in it. Or maybe they do it as like a spin-off thing. Maybe Heartland is the PvP side. Who knows? More than likely it'll have PvP. I kind of hope it doesn't. So there's my controversial thing that you can yell at me in the comments about. But this is just really exciting. For me, this is a time for optimism and happiness. You know, we can talk about all of our worries and pessimism later. There'll be time for that, I promise, especially with this game. Again, probably not coming out for a long time. So, but today we're happy. Today we're excited. This is a really cool franchise. It's what got me into content creation. My podcast started off focused on this franchise. Much of my early content and streams and all of that were all the Division. And so while I have spread my wings a bit and I am excited about other stuff, this announcement instantly puts the Division back on my map in a big way. And you know, maybe next to the next Mass Effect, for my long-term excitement, it's the Division 3 and Mass Effect now, and that's a pretty exciting thing to be excited about. So let me know what you think down in the comments. If you want, you know, any news, I'll definitely be covering with Division 3 as the years go on. So subscribe to this channel if you want that. Like this video if you did. Like I said, yell at me in the comments or tell me what you think of this, or just say hello. It helps me get seen by more people. You can find me as Bond Diesel all over the place. Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, Instagram. You can find me over at Twitch, where I do stream a couple times a week, and we'll definitely be talking about this. So hit me up there. And I have that weekly gaming news podcast where I will cover the Division 3 heavily, called The Bonfire. It's on all podcast platforms and right here on this YouTube channel. That's all I have for this one. Until next time.